The heavy manila envelope slid across the blessing. Patricia began a calculated multi-month whisper campaign across the family network, holding Lily's vibrant red curls like physical evidence of fraud while repeatedly making passive-aggressive remarks about how such distinct traits simply did not exist in the prestigious Atwood bloodline. The sinister undertones of her suspicion rapidly intensified when my sister-in-law Courtney amplified the psychological warfare by posting a picture of Lily online with a mocking suggestive caption, wondering where she truly got her unique looks. A post that garnered thousands of judgmental reactions from our extended relatives. Suddenly, lifelong warm interactions with aunts, uncles, and cousins withered into cold shoulders and suspicious glances at family barbecues. As Patricia successfully choked the rooms we entered with an invisible toxic smoke of unvoiced doubts and engineered alienation. The definitive turning point arrived on a rainy Tuesday in April when I dropped Lily off at Patricia's house for an emergency babysitting session. Packed with her favorite toys and a brand new green sippy cup that mysteriously vanished by the time I returned to pick her up. While walking through the hallway to retrieve Lily's jacket, I caught Patricia hurriedly hiding a labeled plastic Ziploc bag into a kitchen drawer and noticed a thick, sealed clinical envelope hidden behind the mail. Pieces of an unsettling puzzle that my analytical brain immediately began trying to piece together. As a dedicated occupational therapist accustomed to meticulously documenting microscopic behavioral changes and milestones in children with complex physical trauma, I channeled my professional discipline into maintaining a secret, highly detailed logbook of Patricia's escalating hostilities. I earned my own living, possessed immense pride in my clinical achievements, and refused to let myself be framed as a defenseless woman who had married into their family for financial security, especially when Patricia's verbal assaults finally culminated in a public confrontation during our Easter celebration. The devastating blow fell 3 weeks after Easter when a representative from Genevieve Labs called my hospital office to verify parental consent for a genetic profile submitted under Lily's name by her grandmother, forcing me to instantly freeze the unauthorized test. Staring at the anatomical charts on my clinic wall to anchor my exploding fury, I bypassed my conflict-avoidant husband entirely and immediately secured a private consultation with Rachel Nguyen, an exceptionally fierce family law attorney specializing in high-stakes privacy violations. Rachel explained that executing unauthorized genetic testing on a minor without explicit parental consent was a flagrant violation of Connecticut privacy laws, advising me to strategically withhold the truth from Mark to prevent him from triggering a premature confrontation. Armed with professional legal counsel, I spent the subsequent nights diving deep into online consumer ancestry databases, discovering that Patricia had bypassed strict clinical legalities by secretly uploading Lily's genetic material onto a highly popular, unregulated public matching platform, utilizing an email password trick Courtney had previously mentioned in passing. I successfully logged into the unauthorized ancestry profile Patricia had established for Lily, only to find a shocking, high-percentage genetic match that changed the trajectory of our lives forever. A mysterious user named James M., residing in Portland, Oregon, was flagged by the system's advanced algorithms as Lily's biological half-uncle, a revelation that mathematically proved either my father-in-law Warren or Patricia herself possessed a massive hidden bloodline secret. Extensive public record searches quickly revealed that James was born in June 1990 and placed for private adoption in Hartford, Connecticut. A timeline showing Patricia had given birth to a secret son 2 years before marrying Warren. Crucially, the platform showed that Aunt Margot was also linked to James's profile as a confirmed biological aunt, exposing a devastating 36-year conspiracy of silence maintained by the very women who were currently trying to crucify me for a fake affair. The atmosphere inside Patricia's home was thick with calculated anticipation when we arrived that Sunday, as Courtney anxiously checked her phone while Aunt Margot stood frozen by the china cabinet, looking visibly sickened by the impending public execution. As we finished the main course, Patricia stood up with absolute theatrical poise, retrieved the manila envelope from the hallway, and slid it directly across the table toward my husband, while loudly proclaiming that the family finally deserved the truth about Lily's true parentage. With the entire extended family watching in breathless shock, Mark tore open the envelope only to discover a bulletproof 99.99999% paternity confirmation that completely shattered Patricia's smug, vindictive smile into a fractured mask of absolute disbelief and rising panic. Before she could falsely blame a laboratory error, I stepped into the suffocating silence, calmly revealing that I had known about her illegal scheme for 2 weeks and had already initiated formal legal consultations regarding her criminal violation of our daughter's privacy rights. Directing my stunned husband to page 4 of the document, Mark read the familial matching report aloud, his voice cracking with confusion as he demanded to know the true identity of the mysterious half-uncle, James M., listed on our daughter's chart. The decades of carefully manufactured perfection collapsed instantly when Aunt Margot stood up and begged Patricia to stop fighting, forcing a sobbing Patricia to finally confess to her horrified husband and children that she had abandoned a secret child before their marriage. The ultimate ironies unfolded when Mark pulled up an archival 1980s photograph from his phone, revealing to the entire stunned room that Patricia herself had been born with the exact same vibrant red hair she had aggressively dyed brown for 40 years to bury her past. Her malicious campaign against my daughter hadn't been triggered by a genuine suspicion of infidelity, but rather by an overwhelming narcissistic terror that Lily's natural copper curls would inevitably expose her own heavily guarded secrets to the world. The explosive dinner party dissolved into total chaos, as Warren flatly stated he could forgive a youthful mistake, but never 34 years of continuous marital deception before walking out into the night and leaving a broken Patricia weeping at the table. Mark fiercely gathered our sleeping daughter from the upstairs bedroom, walked past his trembling mother without granting her a single glance of comfort, and permanently severed the toxic umbilical cord that had dictated his choices for over 3 decades. During the emotional drive home, Mark held my hand tightly against the center console, expressing profound gratitude that I had forced him to witness his mother's unfiltered malice firsthand, instead of allowing her to manipulate her way out of trouble privately. The subsequent weeks brought a complete restructuring of the family dynamic, characterized by formal cease and desist letters from our attorney, Courtney's tearful written apologies, and Warren taking a prolonged necessary separation to process his wife's systemic lies. Mark eventually initiated emotional contact with James, discovering a wonderful high school history teacher and father who had spent 7 long years desperately searching for any shred of connection to his biological maternal roots. Their emotional first video call completely bridged 36 years of enforced separation, bringing both identical-looking brothers to tears as they realized they were no longer isolated pieces of a broken family puzzle, but the architects of a beautiful new beginning. 6 months later, our backyard was filled with the beautiful sound of laughter as Lily and her newfound cousin Sophie chased each other through the lawn sprinklers, while Mark and James sat together on the porch rewriting their family's future. Patricia, now sporting natural silver hair shot through with copper at the temples, was eventually permitted strictly supervised visits with Lily, finally learning to exist on our terms after realizing that the weapon she built to destroy my life had instead set our entire family free.